Where there is no vision, the people perish. Over 20 years ago, I was flying from a major conference called the Nationwide Conference on the Plight of the African American Male. And coming from that conference, I was empowered, I was inspired. The governor of Virginia at that time, a black governor, Wilder, hosted the conference. The Harlem Boys Choir sang out of New York, and I was inspired on my way from Washington, D.C. to my little storefront church, and I got this vision that we ought to open up a social services agency, not just for boys, but to serve the community in Central City, and that's how we got started. It was a vision I caught 40,000, feet in the air, and I heard God say, go home and start working with young black males and their families in your neighborhood and go beyond the four walls of that little storefront church. That's how it all got started, with a vision.
We started the Family Center of Hope as a result of my husband's passion, his desire to work beyond the four walls of the church. Just his passion for people. Tom loves people. He loves the idea of looking into the hearts of people and seeing what they need, feeling their pain. And he likes finding solutions to problems for people. He challenged me to begin researching and finding ways to begin the Family Center of Hope.
It really is the Family Center of Hope. They were very exciting. The church was in a community that was impoverished. And in particular, we had a large youth following. So Pastor would, on his own initiative, go to school when one of the children were having problems to help out. And in essence, almost the church was rearing some of those children. Pastor is such a visionary, but Pat could implement things and such a planner too. So then they laid out the ground rules and what the objectives and goals would be. And they pulled together a group of us from the church because we had many social workers in the church, and I was a social worker by profession as well as some others, and Pastor and Reverend Pat. So we began with the youth and the community.
So we wanted to bring together a group of people who were on one accord. First, valuing family life. Second, looking at the ills that we were confronted with in the direct community. I grew up in the Calliope housing development, and during the year we started, there were a lot of incidences of crime in that area.
On September 15, 2012, my son Jared Francis was murdered. I was in disbelief, and I wasn't in disbelief that, I guess I'm still in disbelief to this day that, every now and then it pops in my head that, wow, he's not here, or wow, my son was murdered. I think that's the biggest shock, is that he was murdered. It's not that he's not here, and I'm okay where he is. I've accepted that he's gone off to a better place, he's with God, but he was murdered. That's just so vicious and so hard to deal with. Somebody hated my son that much that they murdered him. What Reverend Pat and the Family Center of Hope is doing right now is so impactful. It's giving mothers an opportunity to have a voice that they didn't realize that they could have. The biggest thing that she's taught me that I use for life every day is to catch it, check it, and change it. Anytime I get to a point where I feel anything negatively is impacting my day or my world, I need to catch it. I need to check what it is and then change it into something positive, and to be able to move forward from that. She's helping empower us. And what she's doing by making us move forward and encouraging us and empowering us. Now we're a powerful force, and we don't just want to sit. We want to join along within our community and within our own group into making a difference within the community.
Why did I start Helping Mothers Heal initiative? 2012, we had our annual conference on the plight of the African American male. And it was at the end of that conference that a young mother was concerned that there were services for young boys in the city. There are services for all kinds of people going through different situations. She said, but I lost 3 sons, and who's going to help me? And the room was silenced. And it was at that moment that I kind of creeped over to where the mother was standing and was kind of caught off guard just like everybody else, and just asked her, could I talk with her? I walked her over to our chapel where I prayed for her and listened to her story for about 20 to 30 minutes, and got her phone number and just briefly said, I'll give you a call. I still did not think that I would do no more than maybe continue to talk and counsel with this mom. What came into my mindset, I believe at the time, was, why don't I just start a grief group? I thought about establishing a 6-week group session, 6-week group sessions with these mothers. But I was able to, we all were able to feel the depthness of the pain of these moms. And this just wasn't regular grief where an elderly mother or father or whatever died, or they were diseased possibly. These were sudden, unexpected incidences where these mothers' sons were taken away from them.
So, when you look at the activism role of the Family Center of Hope, I'm not crazy about the word activist, but I do appreciate activism, because sometimes when people call you an activist, you're the only guy out there screaming and you don't have a following. I prefer to be called a leader. I see the plight of the black male as being a unique plight based upon all of the social ills and academic ills. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I just know at the end of the day, it is my calling. It is my assignment. It is my God-given design that I would serve that population of our community.
Project Restore. First of all, we do interventions with young men who come in with behavior and some kind of interaction with the criminal justice system, and we teach them how to confront and address that behavior that leads to criminal conduct.
Project Restore, we started it in 2008 as a result of an assessment of an electronic monitoring program, where many of the youth on that program were basically getting ankle bracelets, but there was no other intervention that took place with them or for them. We began to assess the young people who were coming in, and we started identifying their needs. And of course, many of them came from poor communities, and many of them were unemployed. A number of them were out of school. And I designed this program as a 12-week intensive intervention to address the criminogenic needs and to also really deal with the thinking patterns of many of these young people.
And we know in this community that a lot of the crime is driven because kids don't have resources, kids are idle, and you know what the adage says, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And so even now in this 21st century, 25 years down the road, that's still an issue. 52% of African American males in our community who are of employment age do not have a job.
When we come to Project Restore, we free of everything. Like anything that's going on outside, we don't gotta worry about it, because we come here, we got everything we need. We got computers to look up for jobs, we got a basketball court, to have fun. Then we had a positive, conversation in between Mr. Sharif and Reverend Pat and Miss Yolanda. And all that just keep us on the right track. See, Project Restore, it taught me to think for all outcomes, not just one outcome. It taught me to think for the positive and the bad. Like, cause everything ain't gonna come out how you want it to. So just make me think harder to prevent me from being in the obituary on the news.
And so I think here we are, as it said before, the more things change, the more they remain the same. So we will keep protesting, we will keep marching, we will keep fighting, because where there's no struggle, there's no progress.
Pat and Tom, as I know them, have probably been on this journey all of their lives. The two of them just grew and evolved as a couple, but their hearts to serve, they truly represent what we see in the modern day, the servant leaders.
For 25 years, I have learned strengths, weaknesses, and how to bounce back when days are dark, how to live by faith. I have learned that working with people can be one of the greatest lives you can live, seeing lives transformed right before your very eyes over the time.
How has this work impacted me? Wow. It has taken a lot of time, a lot of work. It has taken on being told no from a number of sources. It has made me work harder to prove that the interventions that we provide to the young people and families in this community works. I've learned that even though I have my immediate family, I have been able to expand my heart to capture the hearts of those that I work with and work for.